Hey, what's good? What's good? What's good with y'all this morning? Y'all know what it is. It's me, your boy Trey, and this is First Formation Morning Sports Talk. So come and fall in with us as we get ready to get to talking and speaking about some of the things that went on in the last couple of days or just in the last 24 hours as we have it. So give you a chance to come in and fall in with us so we can get it started. So let's go. Fall on in. Let's get it. Mm. It's a beautiful day, Thursday. As some will call it weekend eve. What y'all got going on for y'all upcoming weekend? Let me hear it. So a few interesting things happen. Some stuff in which I've just been remiss to report or talk about. Been miss me. Uh, but we gonna get to it today. A few notes. What y'all got going on? How's y'all day? How was y'all's yesterday? I'd like to know how y'all feeling and what y'all been up to. Y'all see myself and Bishop and our others, the professor, Ron Lowe, Cornelius, CC. Y'all be seeing Commissioner Myers and a couple of others, NBA coaches. How are y'all doing? How's y'all's day going? Did anyone catch the ESPYs last night? Was any of the ESPYs caught? Of course, I know. Again, I didn't get an opportunity to see it, unfortunately. Although, like I said, I had voted, so I did know some of the categories. And which, interestingly enough, I guess Golden State was able to show that they were deserving of the awards. I'm not gonna say necessarily deserving, but I'm not gonna say they're not deserving. But we did see that Golden State did get a good amount, or representatives from Golden State got a clear amount of awards. I did say one is um, for the MLB's Player of the Year, which I did agree with Ahani Tashani winning that award. So I was like, that's what's up. Um, what are your takes on having a end of year all sports award like what ESPN and SB does? Do y'all think it's on warranty? Do y'all think it's an appreciation? Is it a love to the sports industry just to sit up and be have a situation where uh, celebrities, sports celebrities, entertainment celebrities get together and celebrate those players and teams and organizations that come together. What do you think about that? I'd like to know your take on that as well. Um, so what we have? Okay, so a couple of deals struck yesterday. A couple of things done yesterday as they had it. Uh, guard Mac McClung. If y'all all know Max McClung or have been watching over the years, he was a standout in high school. Kid with crazy bounce. Um, and kind of was moved around. He left high school, started out at Georgetown. Uh, really didn't get too much burn in Georgetown, or I guess maybe didn't stand up to the expectations in Georgetown. Um, moved around, kind of buried in a sense. Decided to transfer. At one point, he thought he was going to transfer to USC. That didn't happen. Did end up transferring to Texas Tech. Once he got to Texas Tech, a little more um, done, but obviously not enough to where he was not drafted in what was that, the 2021 draft, and he was basically or last year's draft actually. And then he was relegated to an unrestricted, undrafted free agent. Uh, Ended up getting moved around throughout the G League, picked up by the Lakers. He came in. He was signed by the Lakers initially. I think played for their G League. I mean, not G League. Well, he did play for the G League. Actually, he was their MVP for the G League. And then ended up playing for a couple other G League teams, summer league team. Started out on the Lakers summer league team this year. I guess after the California Classic, they would let him go, and he was picked up by Golden State and played in their summer league on their summer league team, and in essence has ended up parlaying that summer league performance or those summer league performance into at least um, a 1 year contract with the Golden State Warriors. So now Mac McClung will be a Golden State Warrior for this year, or presumably for this year. At least he signed a one contract, and so now that puts him in a position. Uh, Eventually, if it's going to be that for him to become uh, a champion, if they were to win again. So shout out to Mac McClung. I like his game. Um, so I mean I wish it would have been with LA, but if y'all pay attention to how LA does, y'all will see his stuff. Good morning, Bishop. How you doing, brother?
What's going on? WGO is Friday Eve, I guess.
I was just saying that weekend Eve.
Weekend Eve, that's what I use. Yeah. What's up, man? What's good, man?
Oh, not much. I was just talking about it was a couple of movements and stuff yesterday where people was getting signed. A couple of people did some signings in the NBA as they continue with their to
Harden in
prep for the.
particular.
Oh yeah, I haven't even got to that yet, but yeah, I was talking about Max McClung, the Mac McClung from
Mm-hmm.
who ended up signing a 1 year deal with Golden State. Uh, so it'd be crazy stuff like that. I wonder how does that make an individual feel? Like it's like okay, this team, a team in the caliber of Golden State Warriors, the current dynasty
Mm-hmm.
comes and scoops me off of a roster and brings me in to play, and I show enough promise that they sign me. That has to be a great feeling, especially when it's like a team. I mean, I can understand who it was like, and not to beat up on them, but if it was a team like Sacramento, it's like, ugh.
Yeah.
But Golden State comes picks me up.
Oh yeah, when after winning the championship. So
Yeah.
for me though, I feel like if it was me,
Uh huh.
I feel like I'd feel some type of way about it. I ain't gonna lie. I feel like
Really?
yeah, in a way I feel like, damn, why y'all couldn't pick me up last year, man? Like why y'all wait? Why
Why
y'all
y'all
wait?
wait a little year?
Why y'all wait so damn long? Like I missed the ring by a few weeks. Y'all could have picked me up early. Y'all didn't have to wait. Y'all could have
So
got it early.
so I guess you could say like in the case of Mac McClung, because I think last year he was the MVP for the G League last year.
Okay.
So in which he played for the South Bay Lakers, I think. So, but it's like so I guess he had to cut his teeth a little more before
Right.
he's like, okay, you know what I'm saying? Because he played, oddly enough, he played with the Los Angeles Lakers in this year's
I remember
California
that.
Classic.
I remember that.
And then like I blinked, and next thing you know, I looked, I was like, wait, why is McClung playing?
Yeah.
Why is he on Golden State? He was just with LA in the in during the California Classic, and now, like I said, he's parlayed that into uh, um, an opportunity to play with the Golden State Warriors.
Yeah. Yeah.
But like you said, so I think I would look at it as like, yo, they looking at me to help the backfield. I guess you know what I'm saying, but it's going to feel a certain type of way when they get those rings
Yeah, you are. You can't help but feel some type of way. You know what I'm saying? Because they normally get the rings right as the season starts,
at
right?
the beginning of the season. Usually maybe the first home game of the season.
Right. So you sitting on the bench and you see everybody walk past you to get their ring.
People who ain't even in your organization
Hey, you
anymore
like
getting the ring.
you like damn, some bullshit.
The cus- the, cus- the,
You like man,
the
man.
custodian, the custodian walking past you with the ring on.
That part. He looking at you like
He's mopping, but look, he hit you. He hit you
yeah,
with the
he hit you with the Donald
yeah,
and then
yeah, yeah.
I'm
So
not.
you say
You
or to sit
you're a year late. You're a year late.
or sit there and watch them as they get it, and you got to adapt your teammate as he's going up to get his ring, and it's like,
They all talking about him. All you doing is twiddling your thumbs.
Are you sitting down like because you know it's gonna be dark and it's gonna have the lights going
Oh
and
yeah, so
and
you shine,
you're sitting there the whole time on the bench like yeah,
man.
can we
Can
get
we
this
get on
game
with the game?
started?
Yeah, can we get on with the game? We start the game, please. What
What's
up,
good?
Anthony?
Ed? What's good?
What
Good.
up?
What's good? What's good, fam? Yeah, so that's got to be, or even if you're a player that's coming, any player for that matter, when you got to be there, like, man, can I sit in the gym? Can I stay in the locker room until this the ceremony is over?
Hey, I gotta go to the bathroom. Put that finger up and walk when they about to give out rings. You put your finger up like you in church.
And you know what? It's been a couple of times where a player, and I ask you this, Bishop.
Mm,
Let's say Anderson Varejao, he was in the opportunity to where he played with the Lakers and he played with the Miami Heat. So
mm,
no matter what, who won,
mm,
he could have got a ring.
mm.
If you were in the same position and you played with your current team, but they lost the championship to the your
Team
old,
in which in which you came from.
are you accepting that ring?
Hell yeah. Hell yeah, I'm getting that. Hell yeah. Are you serious right now? Are you serious?
Oh
Give me
Jesus!
my
What's good, Coach?
what up, Coach Uriah? Hell yeah,
Uh,
give me my ring. Give me my
you like you said, people said we don't believe in them that participation. Like, yo,
hey,
no, I played with this squad. I was on this squad.
give
Like, I
my,
want my
my
ring.
stuff. Give my stuff. Give my stuff. Don't
Oh
play.
no, he was with that. He was with Golden State and Cleveland. That's what it was. Golden State and
Cleveland,
Cleveland.
Cleveland.
Yeah,
That's what I was saying.
yeah.
I thought he was a
Yeah,
Cleveland.
not the Lakers. Yeah, Golden State and Cleveland. So yeah, I think I'm with you. Like in the media, I might in the room in the in the locker room, I'm probably like,
Paris,
yo,
what's up, man?
what's good, Coach Paris? Let's go.
Let's go.
In the locker room, I'm probably like, nah, man. You know what I'm saying?
Oh
I'm
yeah,
not doing that.
so all the team now, the team gonna be mad now. Mind you, the team gonna be mad as hell. They gonna be like, it's gonna be like what's her name on set it off. She ain't do nothing. She don't get nothing. She ain't do nothing, so she don't get nothing. Nah, but you don't give me that ring.
Yeah,
You don't
I'm
give me
going.
my ring.
And I might that talk, but when I leave, I'm gonna hit my agent up like, hey, make sure you go pick that ring up. Hey, don't let them.
Hey, don't let them. Hey, don't let them put. Hey,
Yeah,
don't.
I ain't gotta be part of the presentation. I just need make sure you get the
Don't
ring.
you forget about me. I was a part of that too. Hey, remember that game I dropped 6 points? Hey, let me get that. Let me get that. Let me get that.
And sit there like I would hope that we would win, but just in case we don't,
You know what I'm saying? Let me. Yeah, that's me.
man.
My apologies, man, for my little bit of tardiness, man. I was up late last night watching this thing right here from what I had missed, the ESPYs. And I have to say, man, I'm sure
I
you ain't
missed the
talking
whole
about it.
dang thing.
Well, it came on
Nah,
it came on again. It came on again. It
you
came
know
on,
what? That's what I should have did. And that's what I probably should have did. You know what? I ain't. Yeah, I'm not gonna say that. But yeah, I did. I didn't catch it. I thought it would. I should say watched it
it
late
came,
last
it would
night.
do like BET awards and all of that. It come on
Yeah,
about 100,000
that's you know what. That is what I did lead off with. Like, what do you think about the fact that the opportunity for players, particularly um to be seen and put out there where it's like, okay, we're getting awards for our contributions to the entertainment for the most part. So not the Grammys, not the BET Awards, not the American Music Awards, like the ESPYS. Like this is it's still, you know what I'm saying,
It's just
um, it's sports. Yeah, yeah, everyone comes, like celebrities are there, but it's specifically for sports. What do you think about that when it comes? Like, you think, you know what, that's what's up, or is it like,
nah.
just cliche?
I think yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. They get their own accolades throughout the season and stuff like that.
But
MVP,
this is
but
specifically
this is
for
specifically
sports.
for sports, right? You know, this is catered to them. You know, and I think it's a great thing. You know, what I'm saying it gives players an opportunity to get other accolades for what they do
Hmm.
outside of their organization
With
itself.
their peers for the most part.
Right. And
Yeah.
what people actually think who aren't in that sport think
Hmm.
about you. You know what I'm saying? How they look at you on the outside looking in. They're in a whole nother sport and they still recognize who you are as a player and as a person. So I think it's a great thing. I think it's a great thing. And man, shouts out to Steph Curry, man.
He did his job. He did his thing.
He did a good job, bro. Remember we talked about him trying to be funny and stuff
Uh
like that.
huh.
His humor is a little
Dry or
yeah.
the delivery.
It's not because people don't see Steph as that. See, that's the hard thing, and that's why I think that's one thing about it. When it comes to what up, Zach? What up,
Good
Frat?
morning, bruh.
When it comes to players, or when it comes to players or athletes,
Mm-hmm.
seeing things like that, I think it's real hard. It's real hard because we as people never see our athlete or our idols when it comes to athletes. We never see them in the light of being comedic, or anything like that. So I think a lot of people don't like when we because it ain't always been a athlete who hosts the SBs, has it? It's
No,
normally
I mean, they going through, but it's always been like someone from ESPN or something like that
like
that
that,
has
right?
hosted. Yeah.
Right. So normally we don't expect that, and we know sometimes on ESPN, on Sports Center, and stuff like that, you have people who try to be who are funny and do some, have a little comic things to say, and stuff like that on ESPN and stuff on Sports Center and stuff like that. But to see Steph do it, excuse me, to see Steph do it, I gotta give him mad props. He did not do a bad job at all. He did not. Now his wardrobe, however, wasn't the greatest.
Well, see,
It looked like
see,
he
Bishop is our resident fashion guru. What was
he looked
popping
like
with
he had,
his wardrobe?
he looked like he had on galoshes on his feet. I mean, his feet. I mean, oh my god, he looked like he had clown shoes on. They were huge. I mean, don't get me wrong. Steph is like 6'4".
Mm-hmm.
He's a big dude, so I'm sure he probably got some pretty big dogs. Don't get me wrong, but the shoes, and don't get me wrong, I understand, Steph. Don't misinterpret this. I understand because when you're tall and when you have a lot of wardrobe changes, you ain't got time to be tying your shoe. You don't. You could tell there was some slip on stuff that he could throw on when he
Trade
changed
to
out.
get in and get out of wardrobe.
That part, you know what I'm saying? And don't let Trey fool you. I'm not just a wardrobe dude. Don't let Trey fool y'all, man. Trey is just about as bad as me, if not worse, bro. If you would come to one of our events and see, Trey would have 10,000 outfits by the time we get through. The
We
week
is
a
not
day,
going to do that.
yes, a
Where
day
is?
event,
Oh my goodness!
a
Do
day's
not.
event. This dude will have about
Don't even. If I
3 pairs of
recall.
shoes that you ain't
If
never
I
seen
recall.
before that are freaking custom made. You'll be
If
like, what? And then
if I
he's so humble with it. He try to act like, oh, these old things. Oh, this dude here.
don't even do that, because
This
what we're not going to do, where
dude.
sis at? Because if I remember correctly, coming from Houston, I remember a certain young lady pushing a cart from the elevator, and the elevator, I remember a certain comment to where the young lady was like, 3 days, and he packs like he's going to be gone for a month. I seen the cart. I seen like what probably Steph Curry was going through, like how we see in the movies, where there's a cart, where
Uh,
there's a cart that has nothing but stuff to sit up and go in and and grab. Like, okay, I'm going to wear this. So that's what we're not going to do,
Trey,
because,
Trey, you gonna
like you
say
said yesterday, how
you
you
gonna
and
see
Ron tried to do me with the receipts. That's the receipt. I got receipts. It's just
you
a
gonna say
call,
what?
just a
You
phone call
gonna
away.
say so Trey, you gonna say you don't pack like that? You don't say you don't. You gonna sit here and tell me, good morning, Key, how you
What's
doing?
good, Key?
You gonna
Good morning, sis. How you doing?
sit here and tell me you don't pack about 10 outfits for a weekend or 3 days?
What I'm
Don't
telling
don't
you is there's no receipts
don't do
to say that
yeah,
I do,
yeah.
but there's receipts for
Don't
you.
worry, I will get them. I will get them.
So that's what I'm saying. So yeah, so but it's okay. So because I think I did see where he was like in one time he was he did bedazzle his pants. Not yet. Just wait, Zach. Just wait, because it's gonna be. Just wait
That's what we're doing, man.
wait till Sid get a little bit older. Just
That's
wait
what
till
we're
Sid
doing,
get
man.
a little bit older. He's gonna be
That's
like
what
my,
we're doing,
and he's gonna be able to say, "Yeah, my daughter did this for me." And so I know. And so
man. When you go on vacation, you need 3 outfits for a day. Thank you, Anthony. Tell him. And Trey is right along with you. Don't let Trey sit here and fool y'all, man. Don't let Trey sit here and fool y'all, man. Trey do the same thing. I've known Trey for years. Do not say you're talking about me. I seen Trey put on 3-4 different outfits just to play flag football, bro. Stop it, man. Stop it. I'm just understand. You not
now I will. What I will say, I have a
this man
plenty.
got four pair of cleats sitting on the side. He
What
changed them out if they don't fit right. He finna put hey, these cleats ain't long enough. The spikes ain't long enough. Let me get these over here. for the
Oh,
show.
what I will say is I have
Mhm.
a lot. I keep accessories, different accessories
See,
to set up and
see,
meet. So
see,
during football season, I had
see,
whatever our colors was. I had a spat or a
see.
to go with everyone. So you know what I'm saying. But that's the easy slip on, slip off. You know, I pull off during
I told
what's that? During breast awareness, I got my
you.
pink accessories. Like that's
See,
all that is. That's like
see,
we're
but
not talking about whole
just
wardrobe
me though.
changes. Like what I'm very sure what Steph was going through last night because I did see him
Right.
one time. He was in a sweatsuit, I think, or
He
for the
was.
majority of the night, and
Yeah,
then
he had a sweatsuit on. He had a sweatsuit on. He had like a greenish type out suit on.
uh-huh.
He wore actually under. I think he had two sweatsuits on, but under one of the sweatsuits he had a Brittany Griner jersey.
Okay, yeah, I did see that where they talk
Yeah,
about.
Brittany Griner.
I read about that where they said him and Tyler Diggins Smith and somebody else. Oh,
I forgot how
Anika
hard.
Gumake
Yeah,
were
her. Her.
did their of course
Man,
free
Tyler
Brittany
Diggins,
Griner.
like she been in the Tyler Diggins Smith. Man, if you saw the photo, that woman looked like she been in the gym,
Oh
bro.
yeah,
I think she was cut up, chiseled.
yeah, she definitely doesn't look the same from the Tyler
She
Diggins Smith that we
wasn't.
Tyler Diggins from years ago.
Yes, you could tell she got a personal trainer or something. That girl came out that thing. I was like, what is she about to be in the Miss Universe pageant for athletes or something? Like, man. But like I said, man, shouts out to Steph, man. He did a phenomenal job, man. He went through that whole show without a flaw. Even after winning, he did win an SB, which was expected for
They
the.
kind of the go even a representative from Golden State or Golden State walked away with a good few, huh? Clay with the comeback player of the
Yeah,
year,
well, it was Clay with the comeback player of the year. Steph with the
record
big
breaking performance,
record breaking performance, and then the Golden State Warriors themselves as
won
the
the
team.
team.
Yeah, so they walked away with the organization kind of walked away with three altogether.
So I remember, like I said, I think I remember, like I said yesterday, I did when they had the ballots open, I did vote, but I'll be honest, I didn't vote.
The ballot, man. I'm mad at. I didn't when you said that yesterday. I was mad because
Yeah,
I didn't see that. I never.
I think I caught it just as it was getting ready to close. I was like, oh snap! I didn't realize the SU was coming
What
up.
was it on? Like, where did you? How did you
It
find
was
it?
on ESPN. It was on
Oh,
ESPN.
I didn't see that. I did not see that at all, man. I'm mad because when you said that yesterday, it's like, damn, I could have voted. I didn't see none.
So I'll be honest. I don't think I voted for any of those three teams. I mean, any of those three awards. I don't think I can't remember who they was up against, and I should have went back and looked at it so I could have continued like had a little more in depth conversation. But I
Mhm.
don't think I voted for Clay as a comeback player, even though he might have been the second. I forgot who he was up against,
He was.
and
You know what? I don't know who he was up against actually because I didn't see that part. I missed it.
let me
Who he was
see.
up against? I know he won,
Yeah,
but I don't know who he was up against.
let me
um,
see.
but it was crazy, bro.
Oh, SB awards. But it's so yeah. So it like you said, definitely. Let me see. Record breaking. Let me see if it showed who he was up against.
Let me show y'all this, man. This right here. I was like, what in the Sam Devil, man? Y'all look at this woman, man. Look at her arms, bro.
Yeah.
Look at her. Like, man, yeah, that's the one where Steph was wearing the Brittany Griner joint. But look at Skylar, man. Look at her arms. They're chiseled, bro. Like, it's ridiculous how chiseled they were. She was cut up. I was like, good God, is she trying to compete in the Miss Universe thing? Like, whatever. Like, it was crazy, bro.
So let me see. So breakthrough. Oh, record breaking. So record breaking category was Steph Curry, of course, passes Ray Allen for 3 points.
Mhm.
3 point history. Tom Brady becomes the all time NFL passing leader, overtaking Drew Brees. Jocelyn Allo breaks Lauren Chamberlain's home run record for the most.
That's a
uh,
right there.
most in Division 1 history
Hey,
with
Aloe, that's
96.
my girl right there, bro.
And I think that's what I voted. Allison Felix, track and field, won her 11th career
Oh,
medal, surpassing Carl Lewis. So I think that was the one which I voted for
the
over
comeback
Chef's.
though, as the
Her,
comeback of the
no,
year.
no, that's
Oh,
best performance. So
oh,
that was my selection for best performance.
mm.
Let me see, comeback athlete.
What up,
Okay,
Leslie?
I think I voted Joe Burrow for comeback athlete. Oh, it might
Mm.
have been
Over,
Clay.
over Clay though.
Yeah, so it had Clay Thompson, Golden
Remember
State
the
Warriors,
injury? I
Trey
know you.
Mancini. Yeah, so
Yeah,
I think I did. Maybe I did vote for Clay.
yeah. With Clay, I feel like Clay probably did it better than Joe. I mean, I don't get me wrong. I know Joe had a huge injury, but yeah, I'd go. I would go with Clay over Joe in that instance. It
And
kills me.
then go ahead.
No, go ahead.
And I
And
was
then,
about to say I did vote Golden State Warriors. No, I voted the Los Angeles Rams for the best team,
ooh,
not Golden State. So
well, we know
okay,
why.
what was Coach saying?
You had to pick one of the Lakers.
Yeah,
Who was
unfortunately.
that? Who was the other teams? Who was in competition with it?
Let me see. Let me put it back. It was
It kills me every time
uh
I hear a random ball player say they can beat players in the WNBA. Stop that! Stop the cap, as my players say they can beat players in the WNBA. Who said that? Your coach, Ryan. What do you mean? Because these WNBA players can ball, man. Whether y'all believe it, like whether some of y'all believe it or not, these WNBA players can ball.
for the best team, it was the Golden State Warriors for the
Mm.
NBA, Chicago Sky for the WNBA, Atlanta Braves for the Major League Baseball, Los Angeles Rams for football, Oklahoma Sooners for softball,
Ooh,
Georgia Bulldogs for
football.
football, and Colorado Avalanche for NHL.
Ooh, yeah, I think that, yeah. Yeah,
So
that's got to go to the Warriors, man. And the second would a hard second would be probably the Rams, though. Yeah, a hard close first, should I say? A close first would probably be the Rams.
mhm.
But yeah, that and the Sooners, the women's softball team ain't close, ain't far behind though, because come on, man, they've been dominating for the past decade in women's softball. My players believe they be it wouldn't even be close. To tell man, I don't know. See, listen, Coach, I'm right there with you, bro. I don't know why people try and hate on these WNBA players. For one, they're a lot taller than you think they are when you see them on TV. Well, compared to what you see on TV, these girls ain't no little bitty girls, man. These girls they be some towers. They be some tower of women, and they can shoot that peel, man, and know how to handle that rock, man. I'm in love with that one though. I think she just got drafted, right?
Who's that?
With the Platts, look real short, sexy as hell.
Mm.
Real short with the sexy as hell. She got the Platts. Oh man, I can't think of her name.
So what
She
I
remind me of the female version of Allen Iverson. The
oh, okay,
her style of
her play.
dress. Well,
Okay.
in play, yeah, in play. But she always wears I think because her hair is always in the plaits, in long plaits. She wear long plaits, and then she always got a headband on, like Allen Iverson. Ooh, what's that girl's name, man? I think she just got drafted this year. If the Yankees was in there, it would have been them. Yeah, but the Yankees, Anthony, that but they went in there for a reason. I have played against them and have been humble. Skylar would kill me if I tried hard. If I tried as hard as hell. I know
And
them
so
girls.
I don't know. It's a chick that I'll be following on. I don't think she's a WNBA player, or maybe she might be a former WNBA player. I'll be following her. I think her name is Reginae Williams or something like this. This chick be giving cats buckets. It'd be hilarious,
Mm,
which how they be going at it, and it just comes back to it's like you said. You think one thing, you think an individual is more inferior to you, and
mhm.
then they have to be shown, like, you know what I'm saying. So like I said, it's equal opportunity at the end of the day with how I look at it. So just because you get bodied up and be wondering like
Get
this chick,
embarrassed.
yeah,
Yeah,
this chick then dropped you,
yeah,
dropped 20 on you.
easy, easy. Drop 20 on you, bro. Without question, bro. I ain't gonna front. Matt, shouts out to they did put they did put in a word for what's Dwayne Johnson and then put in the word for, of course, the XFL.
Mm-hmm. Oh, he
The
was there. He was there. He pulled
him and that young lady who
the
are
one who started the XFL.
they did a big thing for them, uh, so that they could uh let everyone know the XFL is returning because him and that young lady, of course, bought the XFL, so they're trying to bring it a comeback. Um, and he calls it, given the opportunity to player 54.
Mm.
And you know what player 54 means, right? It's the
The fifth, the last, the
yeah,
fifth, yeah, the last person on the
53
roster.
man roster. And he always said that they always used to tell him, "You're good, but you're just not good enough." He was always that 54th man
Mm-hmm.
out of 53 man roster, which makes sense, man. So he's saying, him and her are saying that they're giving those 54th men around the country an opportunity to still play a game in which they love to play. And
So
well,
it was an interesting thing that came up, right? Which is it kind of segues back into the conversation we had on the show on Friday on Monday a bit. I know Coach Uriah is in the comments, so he might comment on this. But so of course the XFL is starting this year. The USFL started last year,
right,
and which just culminated and finished uh with their champion. So one of the things you look at, which I was looking like, I'm in certain chat rooms and stuff like that with them, and I was just looking the other day where the fans were going back and forth between XFL and USFL fans going back and forth, and there was one person that stood up and said, like, at this state, they're both standing for the same thing. Why does it have to be a separation? Like if they, you know what I'm saying, you can, they should, it's enough to coexist and
what up?
just basically speak and especially speak on one another and big up to one another. It doesn't have to be, you know what I'm saying, the other trying to basically trying to get rid of the other one. Is like it should be able to coexist between the two of them for the most part. And that's almost segue back, I mean not segue, but goes back into what we were just talking about the other day where you have the NBA
Oh,
that is doing this thing, and then
mhm,
you have other entities like the NMBT or National Military Basketball Tournament, or any other entity that's out there.
mhm,
All Army, World Armed Forces, all these entities, especially when it comes to those genres. In this particular case, with military basketball, to
mhm.
where the you would think the pie is big enough for everyone to be able to take a nibble and be able to eat off of it for the most part. Um, and just that thing where like Coach Ryan was stating and trying and wanting to get Commissioner Myers to, you know what I'm saying, and everyone else to a table to have a conversation to sit up and do that same thing. Like competition is competition. Competition breeds things in people. That's what it's supposed to be. It should bring out the best in you. Hence the reason why they opened up the tryout. I mean, opened up the competition in the quarterback room in Carolina.
Mhm.
Like no one's coming in to be. Yes, Baker Mayfield has a higher ceiling or has had than Sam Darnold. He was drafted number one. Darnold number three.
Mhm.
And Ritter is, you know, saying he's in that room as well. Is it Ritter? Who's their quarterback? Or Carroll? I'm
Carol,
sorry, Carroll.
out of Mississippi.
Mrs. Ole Miss.
Oh,
So
yeah.
yeah, so you know, saying same thing, but competition does things, and then sometimes that gives you a better product. So I don't see a reason why it shouldn't be a work case like that.
Mhm.
Um,
Mhm. When the XFL comes, will that hurt the USFL and the Arena League too? That's a good question, Anthony. I
I
mean,
think
that's
I
basically
think
what
the
Trey's
I think
talking about.
I think the arena league is a different type of
It's been
genre when you
around
look at
for a
it.
minute, and Arena League has actually
It's been
stayed
around for a
in
long time. Matter of
business.
fact, I was just looking at it this morning because there's a San Antonio Arena League team, and I guess it was a situation that happened over the weekend. And I was like looking at it, and there's now only a couple of teams in the Arena League. Some of the same ones, which like the Orlando Predators, are still there, but kind of like it's a few less teams. But now we're getting to a position where, yeah. So the XFL, I don't know if it's going to hurt one another.
Now,
Um,
mind you, the XFL, this isn't their first run. They've had a
yeah,
few runs.
Yeah, so and then the same thing with the USFL. Like both of them are basically reincarnations of what was the original. So
Right.
that saying comes down to that. But I hope saying the USFL did all right. They
But the
did a crawl. They crawled instead of
Mhm,
run. You know what I'm
mhm.
saying? So hopefully, I'm
But
for it.
does that say something about it though, right there, Trey? And the excuse me, and the facts of the matter that they this is not their first attempt, yet they're steady coming back, coming back, coming back. And, every few
So
it does
this is
that attest to something to say that this is you like I'm trying to figure out what Rock and this young lady is bringing to the table to make it different from the XFL in previous years. You know what I'm
and that's the key point in what you said,
saying?
Bishop. Like at the end state in anything, like you got to think there's been a re-establishment of the ABA after all those
Right,
years,
right.
and then now even now they've got after Joe Newman has been at the helm of it for a long time. Now he has kind of like moved to the side, and they just appointed a new president to look at the ABA to kind of like continue to push it forward. So in the instances where you have these reboots, think about how many times a movie has been redone and you get a new blood or new perspective on it to kind of like push it, and without, for the most part, without hurting what has been what was before you, or you take a look at what was going on and how do we fix this better. Organizations, saying. You've been in an organization before and decided like it wasn't what you thought it was, or whatever the case was, and you
Hmm.
was like, you know what, I want to try to establish it myself,
Hmm.
built on how I see it and what saying my tenets and my values and my and how I think organizations should be run. And you go out and you try, and in some cases, like we just talked about, maybe they failed in trying to do that initially. Like it's a difference in being entertainment and to be formidable in what you're doing. And I think in this XFL, they're trying to be formidable in the 54th man, basically, as opposed to the XFL under the WWE flagship was more about entertainment. And then they came back a second time with the thought of, okay, we're going to try to be a little more serious, but just didn't have it. And now you have the XFL now is like looking at it like, okay, we're going to do this. Same thing with the USFL. Like this time around, saying USFL just going off building off a name and using it to their advantage. The XFL is going to do the same thing. So I hope they can coexist in the same in the same atmosphere, I guess. But
Hmm.
just like Lauren Hill said, sometimes two MCs can't occupy the same space at the same time. So we'll see it. What was Coach Rod saying?
He said the argument is because of who is backing what. Dion and
Mhm.
HBCU with Dwayne are behind the XFL. It's a push to get more exposure for black athletes. The problem is Dion has finally realized his true potential and is flexing. Imagine when more do the same. That's the real problem. Ooh, mad words right there, Coach Uriah. Mad words right there, Uriah. And it's a shame, man. Like it's probably funny, Uriah, Coach Uriah. They're probably having the same issue. Well, I don't know for sure, but it's a possibility that they could possibly be having the same type of issue in which the NBA, Mike Bravo Alpha, that the XFL, NBA, and the same problem that they're having in y'all's league might be the same exact problem or something similar to what's happening in that full contact football league, and where there's people whose pride won't allow them to, and I'm not saying that's the case with y'all, but it may be a possibility that the pride or somebody just can't seem to get along with individuals and don't want to take the time to sit down at the round table like y'all have brought to the table and said that y'all need to do that they haven't sat down and said, hey, let's sit down and let's find out a way to make this work because it could be profitable for all parties. And that's just the crazy thing about the humans. We find ourselves not wanting to compromise and sit down and have a meeting of the minds and trying to find a way to make things work when it could be very, very profitable for both sides of the part of the table. But
And additionally, like before we get to Coach's second comment, the one in reference to backing, not only is it like you said, Dion and the Rock, Dwayne the Rock Johnson are
mhm,
are behind the XFL. Additionally, also they have got the backing of the NFL as they're going to have some initiatives and programs built as far as that, like the development and getting having the opportunity to be a a route
Yeah.
or a lane to the NFL. So, like you said, that makes a difference as well sometimes, but it doesn't take away the fact of ultimately what can happen is being a part of the USFL can be that because as you look, there's been at least 4 or 5 players since the end of the USL that have been signed or been signed to NFL teams to be on their to go to their training camps. A lot of it, I admit, a lot of it has been from the Washington Commanders has been picking up a lot of players from the USFL of late,
And
and
we know
so
that
it
come
gives them
from
opportunity.
the Arena League. We know that too. They've picked players from the Arena League.
Hmm.
In that
The
way,
great Kurt Warner,
Kurt Warner, one of the greatest, one of the ones,
Hall
main,
of Famer Kurt Warner,
yeah,
Super Bowl quarterback
Kurt Warner,
Kurt
that
Warner.
that guy. So and it's crazy because
Like talent is talent, no matter where you're at
But it's
in the
funny
state.
though, right? It's funny though that it's crazy because the WNBA, I mean the WNBA, the NBA is able to do it with the summer leagues and things like that and be very successful with it. You know what I'm saying? Compared to how the NFL, it doesn't seem to translate over as well in that
So
space
it's
compared
odd,
to
like you just said
NBA
that, Bishop, because even like we said, the NBA with the G League,
to G leagues.
or the
Yeah,
summer league with the G
right.
League.
Mhm,
Within the G League, you have Team Ignite, which now has been a avenue and a course to where you have been able to get international players that come over to play with and learn to be a professional in that aspect, and which has been gaining, saying, getting a lot. The NBA has initiatives with the NAL overseas, so like it's a different, like it's a lot different. But of course, things are a little bit different when you come basketball and football and stuff
mhm,
like that. You got to think the farm systems throughout. There's so many farm systems in the major leagues, different levels from 1A to triple A
mhm,
to the pros. It's like a whole bunch of different avenues in every sports to where, and I'm big on, there's a blueprint for everything. You just have to
mhm.
find the blueprint, apply it to what you're doing, and make it work. It's for the most part, there's no reason why. And sometimes you as an individual can't make it work. There's nothing wrong with
You need
taking
it,
on
you
some
need it,
insight
right.
from someone
You
else to like
some
fine
people,
tune it. You know what I'm saying?
right.
You look up,
That
it's like
missing
Voltron.
piece. That missing piece. Yeah, that
Yeah.
vote. Ooh, boy, you don't know
Number
nothing about
seven,
that.
number seven, not
You don't know nothing. You don't know nothing about no
the
vote.
lion Voltron, not the other one,
You don't. I
not
know
the
it's one.
space one. Yeah, not the
Bro,
space
I
one.
know
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
one Voltron. You don't know nothing about no Voltron, bro. You don't know nothing about
Voltron.
that
You know what I'm saying?
Voltron, bro. You need all pieces to be able to bring out that
Green,
sword, bro. You don't
green,
know no
green, green lion, black lion, pink lion,
red.
yellow
Yeah, yeah,
lion,
yeah. You don't
all
know
of
nothing
them.
about that, bro. Don't
Yeah,
act like you old school like me, bro. You don't know
yeah.
nothing about
Let's
that
get it.
Voltron, bro.
I know all about that. Silver hawks, like everything. We can go all day long.
You don't know nothing about that. You're hitting it on the head is pride. Some people don't want to share and work well with others. It's sad. It is. It is, Coach Uriah. It is. And like Trey just said, man, he hit like you said, he hit the nail on the head in regards to you. Sometimes you may not be able to do it by yourself. Don't get me wrong. Some people are able to do it, and a lot of people aren't. And a lot of people aren't able to do it by themselves. You may need that extra lion that keep peace. Voltron can't be completed without all of them. They need one to be that complete and ultimate warrior. And it's hard, man, when you try to do it by yourself. Sometimes you need that outside person to come in and give you that finishing piece to make it a masterpiece. What I don't like is the hate coming from the HBCUs as well. I have heard multiple colleges say Deion should only speak for Jackson State. Jackson State. Stop hating and be happy that you have a voice, and he has all of you on a pedestal. As soon as he's gone, it will be the same narrative. HBCUs get no love. You're getting it. Elevate Dion and stop hating. I totally agree with you, bro. I have to check so many of my own
Mm.
family. Oh, bro, that's it right there. Oh, that's it right there. Silverhawk is my joint. You stupid stand.
Silverhawks, yeah.
Everybody might know about Silverhawks too. But it's big, man. That's what it is, man. That's
So
truly
it's interesting that Coach Rod speaks about HBCUs because I don't know if everyone's been paying attention or even know it. There is currently in the works in which it has been established, honestly. And I have to see if I can get those the commissioner and a couple of people on here just to talk about it. But there has been established a HBCU basketball league that is for predominantly HBU players who have played basketball and
Really?
haven't really got a chance. So now they have an opportunity to play in this league to continue to for the fact to be exposed to get exposure. Uh, to see if it can be parlayed into something a little bit more, maybe a contract here and there, but or just an opportunity to continue to play. So it's yeah, it's in the works. She had actually I set up and see if I can get her on. I know of her. We spoke before a couple of things in reference to when, because she was actually an ABA basketball team owner. And yeah, so I see if maybe that might be a show to get her and a couple of people on for her to talk about. You know what I'm saying, what it's like, especially as a female establishing that. Actually, you know what? I have a couple of ideas. All right, yeah, so we'll see if we can get that cracking and going. I have to hit her up to see if they can get on. What else have we? So, yeah, definitely good talks and conversation. That's what it's all about. Uh, talk about Steph, SB's shout out. Like I say, additionally, like Bishop said, he did a great job. Um, hey, it's always good to move in different veins. Show that you multifaceted, multi talented. Um, I'm for that all day, every day. Um, let me see. Unfortunate situation. So, of course, yesterday we spoke about briefly about Miles Bridges and his situation going on, where he's been charged for 3 counts of domestic violence out in Los Angeles. Yesterday he did go to arraignment in which he pleaded he pleaded not guilty to all 3 counts, which now he's gonna have to go. Now he's gonna particularly go to trial unless they find another way around it. He can potentially be facing a maximum of 11 years and 8 months in prison if found guilty for the charges. So now we have that, like, this young man could completely have ruined his career with this if that's what happens. So at this point, I think it becomes a situation to where currently I don't think he gets back on the court. I don't know, Bishop. I was just
You talking
telling
about
him that,
Miles Bridges?
yeah, how he played the not guilty to all 3 counts.
He played
And
guilty?
yeah, he the look on your face. Yeah, he played not guilty. He played not guilty, in which he should, honestly. So
No, if you plead not guilty, that means you're just like when so when you plead not guilty, that means you're saying everything that they're accusing you of is
it's
false.
not, it's false. Or
Right.
now
This is gonna give you a harsher term.
your defense. So what he can, what can happen is, I was just stating he's looking at potentially maximum 11 years and 8 months maximum in prison if
Okay.
convicted.
Okay.
So, and the reason I say he should plead guilty, even if he knows he's innocent, the way the law is set up is, regardless if
If
I
you
am innocent or guilty,
but if you own
it
up
has
to
to be proven.
it, right.
And if
Right.
someone needs to sit up and go forth, you hire a defense team that is hopefully going to get you off.
Mhm.
And your prosecutors, the DA or whoever it is, are supposed to be hot stuff themselves to put you away. And basically, it just has to be proven. So I have, like, following and paying attention to this stuff, especially when it comes to law. I realize, like, at in state, you could be guilty as all out. It has to be proven. And we have seen instances where people will probably have been very guilty and
Mhm.
they've gotten off. And that's the way the law works. Like, yes, I can be proven. That's why it's so many different things. I'm very sure there's like, we had never heard the counts of endangering of, you know, saying a domestic violence charge for injuring a child's parent, like that, huh? You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah,
then the other one, like child abuse with the intent or possibly to cause to have great bodily harm or death. Like,
that yeah,
that's,
that's new to me. That was new.
yeah, so you know what I'm saying, and it's just that type of stuff. So, but yeah, so he pled not guilty to all 3 counts,
Mhm.
and now, so, but that brings up the question, like, if you're a GM or owner,
Mhm.
he's currently still signed to Charlotte because he was only a restricted free agent, in which he was going to have an opportunity to go be with another team, or they was going to match it and keep him there. Now, of course, no one probably wants to touch him.
That
Do you bring him in to play, or do you sit him down, or do you even release him? Like at this point, and especially when you're looking at he hasn't even gone to trial yet. Trial is not going to be for a
Probably,
good amount of time.
probably at least a year.
Yeah, it's not going good because it has to go on the docket.
Right. He'll have his first little what is it, pre-trial little thing first,
Yeah,
and
he just did the arraignment, so the next thing should be to set the trial date.
right,
It
which
should
will
be the
probably,
next thing.
which will probably be about a year. Normally,
Yeah,
about a year before they do that. So yeah,
so yeah, it's like, do you what you do
yeah,
with it as a team? What do you do
yeah. Do you do him like Deshaun Watson and
and sit
hold,
him down?
yeah, hold on to him and sit him down in hopes that he's found out guilty. But for me, I'm not guilty is going to be not going to be good if he's found guilty.
He's
Examples of
still good. He's still guilty in the public eye.
this is the thing, though, for me, Trey, is that how you gonna prove? How you gonna say not guilty when all of the things in which Trey you mentioned yesterday in
Hmm.
regards to the young lady having injuries?
Hmm.
You broke this woman's nose, her ribs, and on a plethora of other things happened with this woman. Mind you, Trey also stated it wasn't the first time. These are reoccurring events. How can you not now? Mind you, like Trey said, you have to be found guilty in the court of law. You have to prove that these things have happened previously to the current event. However, comma, when it comes to the broken bones and things, like what are you gonna say? She fell down the steps. Like, how can you? How can you prove that you didn't break her nose when it clearly shows that her nose is broke? How can you prove that you didn't break her ribs when it clearly shows her ribs are broken? Like those are things right there. How do you get away from those things?
Hmm.
Like the only thing that you could possibly say is that she hurt herself. She brought bodily harm to herself. You can't even. Uh, 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 I'm sorry. There's one other thing. Unless you go claim self defense, but even with a self defense, it's gonna be hard to prove you self defending yourself again because he is what 6'9"
Yeah.
compared to this little bitty woman. You mean to tell me you had to break her nose and break her ribs to stop her from doing any bodily harm to you? That's gonna be a hard pill to swallow, bro. That's a
Yeah.
hard pill to swallow.
And additionally, does a team, if let's say the um Charlotte does release him,
That part too,
is
look,
it is yeah? Let's say Charlotte does release him. Is another team wrong for pursuing him?
absolutely.
Okay. Okay.
It looks
That's
bad it looks bad on the NBA.
mm.
It looks bad on the NBA because especially when it's already bad enough in what how women feel or how
And see,
athletes,
this becomes that disparity between how the NBA takes care of things and how
the
the
NFL.
NFL takes care of things. Because in this case, he probably would be sitting down just on the conduct alone and not being. But that's no different. As we get into the NFL, talk a little bit in reference to like the Deshaun and all that type of stuff and Kamara and all that stuff. So we get into that. But like you saying at the top of our Philadelphia
Mm-hmm.
has it's not a good look. Oh well, hell, that was what Coach Jari say.
Not a good look. Basketball is last of his words. I think he is going to do the same sometime. I believe Adam Silver puts a ban on him for ever playing. Ooh,
Ooh,
that's big, Coach Uriah. That's
it
but
has
that's
to be
so
justifiable. Has to be justifiable.
because I don't. You know what? I don't know if there's been um in my that I can recall that many NBA players who've gotten
That's what I'm
domestic
saying. There's no. I don't think
in,
there's a conduct
in,
thing in the NBA like it is in the NFL, and that's
NFL.
what I was saying. Yeah, I
Right.
think it's a little bit different,
Before
but
we
yeah.
move on, before we move on, Trey, let me say this.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Mad shouts out to, and this goes back to what you see in my background. Mad shouts out to Dick Vitale, man.
Oh yeah,
Dick
yeah. I seen.
Vitale,
They tried to wrap him up. He's like, "Nah, chill, chill, chill. I got this. I won't watch."
Dick Vitale. Everybody knows about the Jimmy V Foundation and what it's
Mhm.
done, and it's raised over three million
It's like
dollars.
what the SB is built on for the most part.
Yeah,
Yeah.
$3 million um toward cancer awareness and treatment and all of that. But Dick Vitale, his speech in regards to Jimmy V and everything that went on for Jimmy V's most famous speech
His speech that basically, yeah.
before him passing away. Like Dick Vitale gave everybody a history lesson on how that famous speech by Jimmy V took place. Like, for those that don't know, Jimmy V was throwing up prior to getting on the stage. Like, this dude was he like in real life, it was hard for Jimmy V to get on that stage because he was sick.
Hmm.
Dick Vitale was there. He said he was sick. They was trying, Dick Vitale and someone else, I forget who he said, was trying to find ways to bring the mic to Jimmy V to talk to where he was sitting, compared to Jimmy getting up on stage and actually delivering that speech. But Jimmy was like, I'm getting on this effing stage and I'm gonna say what I have to say. So, mad shouts out to Dickie V,
Yeah.
man, coming out
Because
there.
I read where they said the teleprompter was saying for him to close out his remarks because
Mm.
they was going, and it's like basically his speech ran for 20 minutes.
He did. He
It
Dick
ran
Dick
for 20
Dick was
minutes,
talking, bro.
and they kept on trying to get him to close it out, and he's like, "Nah." And then he finally said, "I'm only going. I got 3 more minutes. I want to talk for 3 more minutes." And
Yeah,
so
Dickie
what I'm
V
saying,
had to talk, bro. And I think everybody felt why he wanted to get that off his chest, because we talking Jimmy V has been gone for some years now,
yeah,
and I'm sure that's something that's been in Dickie V's on his chest for a long time, and since Jimmy V's been gone. So for him to have an opportunity to come out and finally get it off his chest, he needed that moment, man. Dickie V needed that moment, and it was well deserved. He did it, and I think he did a phenomenal job. So, man, shouts out to Dickie V for honoring Jimmy V and what the Jimmy V Foundation has done. But what was you saying, Trey, in regards to the top of the hour? You saying what?
you was earlier. You was talking about we was talking about the some of the moves and stuff. Like the biggest move as
Oh,
late
yeah,
has
Philadelphia
been had Philadelphia went ahead and
uh,
came to grips.
with
Uh,
Harden,
James Harden, 2 years, 68 million.
68 million. That's what it is.
Yeah, 68 million with a player option in the second year, where he's probably going to earn. He's going to earn a little over 33 million for this year. He's going to earn 35 million for next year. Um, so it's clear to say. I think it's safe to say that James Harden has more than 2 years left in him.
Oh
Uh,
yeah. What?
so I'm very sure the next time around, depending on how everything goes, he's probably going to get a pretty good payday. Depending on what his health is, how fluent he is, how he's playing, he's probably gonna get paid next time. So it may have been a calculated risk because he lost. Like if he had not um, elected out of his contract, he would have made 47 million to play this year. Now he goes from 47 million
To six.
to 33 million
Oh, you talking about a
on the
year?
year on the year, and then you know what I'm saying, and then he could have basically been a free agent or came back next year and did this. But of course, he did exactly what he said he was going to do. He's like he wanted them to go and find players to help to bring a championship to Philly, another championship to Philly, in which they went out and they got familiar players with him, PJ Tucker and Daniel House. Players he played with in Houston.
Mm-hmm.
They brought them in. Now they're a part of Philadelphia. They currently still have Tobias Harris, um, Maxi, Thibault. So they
Mm-hmm.
still have pieces. So it's coming. It's looking interesting. Like we always say, on paper, it's looking
Mm-hmm.
interesting on paper.
Right.
But I mean, it remains to be seen. But 30, like I said, 2 years, 68 million, which is 33 million this year, 35 million next year. Um, they get paid immense amount of money to play a game that now we don't play because we're older. We went a different career path, but to play a game in which they love, in which just like Dame Dash said not too long ago about playing basketball is not pressure. He's like, it's not pressure. He's like, I get paid millions to play a game in which I love to play a game and to play a game I love. And then he went on to say, pressure is the homeless man who doesn't know where he's going to get his next meal from, or pressure is the single mom with 3 kids trying to scratch and crawl to get everything to make it work, to know that she's going to be able to feed her kids and they're going to have something to stay. He's like, so nah, this isn't pressure. This isn't pressure in any way, form, or fashion. And when you put that in perspective, you can understand that. Like
Yeah.
we've been
At
at
first, I
one,
was going to disagree with it, but now the way once you
yeah,
put it that way, yeah.
yeah, yeah. That's not same person. So we've been, and one thing I've always taken back. Right, my first. was it my first deployment? Like Korea was my first duty station,
Mhm.
but my first deployment was it my first deployment? My first no, it was my first deployment. Bosnia. I went to Bosnia in '99.
Mhm.
While I was in Bosnia in '99, I watched children go to a well in the middle of the city with no filter, just constant running water. They, you know, saying, and the fact of and I looked at that, I was like, yo, we take stuff for granted. Like we ain't got to go draw water from a well, or we don't have a little. It was like a spigot. I guess you know, saying that's the country coming up. A spigot. Being in, I'm from the west all day, but I've been in the south a long time.
Mhm.
A spigot
Mhm.
with a little pipe running out the middle of a in the middle of their village or their little village where little kids was running and doing everything in that water, playing in the water, getting water to drink, all that type of stuff. In which I was like, we don't have them problems. Even poverty stricken individuals don't necessarily have that problem. You know what I'm saying? So it's different levels to the stuff. So that it brings back to why a lot of times the people from as with they're being called third world countries or from outside the United States, they're built different because they've had to go through different things, in which is like, yo, like I had to even they had to fight for war, they had to flee from somewhere, so it's different levels, and of course, it's the same thing here in the United States in itself. In my opinion, it's different levels to it. Everything it faces, you know, what I'm saying there's different levels, but sometimes what you think is your low moment, you having the slightest ideal, the slightest of ideals, and so that being said, like the fact of like, yo, 33 million for 1 year,
Yeah, it's
and
crazy.
that's just for him playing. And we're not talking about his endorsements. We're not talking about people going out and purchasing his jersey that he has points on. We ain't talking about none of that other type of stuff.
That's just his salary.
Yeah, that's just his salary. You like, you know what I'm saying? So it's crazy. But it's, in any case,
It's crazy
because
you
I
say
sit
that.
here, you know what I'm saying, think like, hell, if I was able to do it, I would do it. If I could run it back all them times I played football and I didn't take it for real, and had the talent and figure myself to be a talent, it would be a whole different story. And I'm not, and I don't take,
But with everything though, Trey, don't get me wrong. So it's crazy you say this, and we're talking about this because I sit back a lot of times and I think about my life, and I think about you know what I've done and what I've accomplished in my 51 years on this earth, and I think about how you just like yourself, how you feel about playing football, and the sport in which you love, and the sport in which I love, and which I played for a very long time, whether it was full contact or a flag. Um, I sit back and think about it. I was like, man, I truly believe God. Everything happens for a reason, and God has a plan for you, and He has a path in which He
that
has
part.
you going for a certain reason. And for me, a lot of times I sit back and think about, like, man, what would my life have been if, like you just stated, what would my life have been if I'd have taken football more seriously, put more effort in trying to hone my skills to try and be that better player, that going out there putting in all that work. Because don't get me wrong. Please understand, athletes put in a great deal of hard work and
It's a
dedication.
job.
You have to dedicate yourself
Like you
to
said,
be
is
like
make an
God.
MOS out of it.
Yeah, that part. You have to take a great deal of dedication to be like this guy behind me, Steph Curry, LeBron James, Kobe being Brian, may he rest in peace, to a Matthew Stafford, to a Ezekiel Elliott, to a what I'm saying, to a Jamar Chase. You have to take a great deal of dedication, and in times when you want to lay your head down and go to sleep, or you too tired, you don't have no days off, man.
It's
You don't
grind.
have you have no days off. The days you're resting and taking a day off to try and recoup or whatever, there's a guy over there that's still grinding, trying to get to that to get to a point to where they're at a certain level to be competitive in a sport in which they love. And for me, man, when I sit back and think about it, I think about there's a lot of stuff that goes on in professional sports, um, that are behind the scenes that we have no knowledge of.
Hmm.
There are some things that we do. Um, But probably one of the main things, and that we see a lot and hear about a lot, and not saying that it's not in other things and other occupations as well, but I feel like it's more of prevalent in professional sports because they have a great deal of pressure. Now, mind you, I understand the pressure in which you talk about, in which what's his name spoke of, Damon Dad or whatever. But there is a bit of pressure still to be an elite athlete. To
Yeah.
be an elite athlete, there is
Yeah,
a
there's different pressures. Like I said, different
yeah,
levels to it, but that's
yeah,
definitely a different type of pressure. There's
that
a
and
pressure within your industry as opposed to overall.
yeah, and so with that, you find a lot of players, a lot of athletes, a lot of athletes who um find themselves, abusing drugs.
Mm,
We've seen a plethora of athletes lose their career behind drugs, alcohol, whatever. So, with money comes problems. With more money, more problems. What you used to say was a
hmm.
song back in the day. More
Yeah, more
money, more
money. Yeah,
problems.
more money,
I
more
believe
problem.
that. I believe that, man. Because when you have that type of money in your possession, especially if you wasn't born or raised in money like that, there's a certain type of pressure that you're dealing with to try and not go down the wrong path, in which what I talked about, God had you going into a whole different, has you set into a certain path, but he allows you
Hmm.
the opportunity. I'm not trying to preach now. Don't get me wrong. I'm
Yeah.
not trying
Oh
to
yeah,
preach.
it's funny because I was thinking preach in my head. I said
And
I just because
preach.
when you said that you allows you instantly, I heard you preach.
Yeah,
So, but
yeah.
yeah, it's that
Allows
part.
you
Yeah.
to make a choice. And if you choose to go to the wrong path, there's a lot that can go wrong. God had a plan for me, and I'm thankful and I'm grateful for what He allowed me to do. Am I, or would I change anything in which I've done? If I could go back and do it all over again, probably not, man. Because
And
I
that's what I
think
was just about
I
to say.
believe God
Same
knows.
thing.
It's not. I believe. I don't think. I know God knows your heart. He knows what everybody knows. The saying, God knows what you can bear. If God felt like you can bear an NFL career, He'd allowed you to have an NFL
Hmm.
career. In my personal opinion, that's me. If He
Hmm.
believed you could bear an NBA career, God would allow you to have an NBA career, MLB career, WNBA career, track and field career. But because of what God does and how He works, He knows that there are certain things that you're not capable of, truly not capable of doing. And I thank Him.
Hmm.
But again, I'm not. Let me get off
Yeah,
that
and
soapbox.
it's funny, like you said, even in the aspect of what you just said, that comes along when you said sports and celebrities that peers that we had, like these state, like Alvin just said, DUIs, domestic violence. Those are things that
All of that.
go on that more
Mhm.
so in service. Like
It
instead,
does.
like those things derail you. They derail your careers and stuff like that. And it's
Mhm.
just real talk. You know what I'm saying? In state, that's basically what it comes out to be. So I definitely agree with you. And it is part. You know what I'm saying? And that's part of the show. Like it's just not. Yeah, we talk sports, but you know what I'm saying, we also talk military career, what's happened, and that's a
Mhm.
real talk conversation. So that's what it is. That's all about. I see Anthony talking about breaking news. We'll get to that in a second, Anthony. But other stuff in the NFL, Tampa Bay signs tight end Kyle Rudolph to a 1 year
That's
contract.
huge. I saw
I was
that.
about to ask that question.
That was
Is that a suitable replacement for Grunk in your opinion? And does
so.
that move the needle left or right?
Let me say this, right. Let me say this first, because and this is why this pickup for the Buccaneers, Kyle going to the Buccaneers, is huge. For one thing is, I don't know if you heard him, which I'm sure you did, Trey, and for all those watching, um, Grunk's girlfriend stated that she doesn't feel Gronk is done. She
Mm.
doesn't feel Gronk is truly done. She said him and Tom be talking all the time, and she feels like that Gronk is gonna come back off of retirement. However, Gronk came back, I guess, a few hours later and stated that football is
He's
it for
done.
him.
Yeah,
Football is it.
he's been standing on the desk like I'm done.
Mhm.
Like I'm not.
Like,
Like it's not
you're not
real
bringing
talk.
me back. Like I'm done. I'm not coming back. So Kyle Rudolph, for the most part, a lot of people forgot about Kyle. Kyle
Hmm.
really made his name when he was in Minnesota.
Uh huh.
He just left, he just played with the Giants and now has gotten traded to the Bucks. Kyle Rudolph was that dude as a tight end. At one point, Kyle Rudolph was in the top 10
He's a
of
top.
tight ends
He's a top 10. Yeah, he was.
at
Yeah.
some point. Is he going to be that filler for Gronk in Tampa Bay? We may see. He has the GOAT throwing the ball to him, so it is a great possibility that the GOAT can reemerge Kyle Rudolph as the tight end in which he once was when he was back in Minnesota back in the day. Because everybody know Kyle from Minnesota days.
Mm-hmm.
So that's for me. I feel like that's a huge pickup for Tampa Bay. I think that's a huge
Impact, a large
mhm,
impact or not?
yeah. I think it's a large impact. I feel like that's a huge boost for Kyle. I'm sure he's excited to go over there and play because, of course, he hasn't had a quarterback like Tom Brady. So to
Yeah.
go over there and have a quarterback, the GOAT, to be throwing you the ball, you have to be excited and be like, man, I'm about to go over here, man. It's a possibility we could make another run at this thing. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, Kyle Rudolph, I ain't even gonna say in the top 10. Kyle Rudolph was at one point probably in
Yeah,
the
he's
top
pretty
five.
good. Yeah,
He was in
he
the
was
top
pretty good.
five at one
He was
time at tight.
up and coming and being looked
But
at and kind of like, yeah. He was like, I used to go to pick him up. He was a person I would
I
look
did
for in
too.
my
I had
fantasy. Everyone
yeah, I
was
had
people was
him.
sleeping on him. So I was like, okay, he'll be there. I was like, I'll get my whatever tight end I got, but then I see
Yep,
Kyle. I'm like, okay, Kyle's still there. I was like, I
yep,
put him in my basket. Like, okay, when I need to go
yep,
pick up another tight end, I know who to
yep.
be. I have him there.
Mhm.
So yeah,
So
so
I think this is a
that was just
reemergence
one.
of Kyle. I think it'll be a reemergence of Kyle. I think this is a great opportunity for him to reestablish himself in the NFL and people to show at people, hey, don't forget about me, man. Gronk is gone. I might be that dude now. I know y'all
Mhm.
looking at Kelsey, and I know y'all looking at Kelsey and Kittles, but there's another guy by it with a K in his name. His name is Kyle.
And of course, and keeping in the somewhat the same vein, as we know, some training started yesterday for some teams. One of
Yep.
them was the Las Vegas Raiders, in which Darren Waller, another tight end, a
Mhm.
pretty good tight end in that fact,
Yeah.
as well as Darnell Perryman, both come back to Raiders camp seeking to get deals. So of course, when you look at Perryman, he's been in the league 7 years. He got he made it to the Pro Bowl for his first time this past season. Uh, Career high 154 tackles this past season, all done with him being in Las Vegas. And so he's looking to get paid at this point. He's going to let his agent handle it though. You know, saying he'll take care of it. Same thing with Darren Waller. Waller signed the $29 million extension in 2019. But since 2019, he has been the second best pass catching receiver tight end, pulling in 252 receptions for 3,000 yards, only behind Kelsey, basically. So they're both looking to get contracts. Another tight end, Waller. When you look at, he looks at Devontae Adams and Renfro. Both got paid. Hunter Renfro both got paid. So he's in that offense. He's trying to get paid. So with stuff like that, when I look, I was like, I know yesterday I said the Los Angeles Chargers, but I don't know. I think the only reason I think the Chargers get an edge for me is because they have Austin Eckler, who's pretty good as a running back,
Mhm.
and I think that in coupled with yeah, I think but Waller adds a different dynamic to that Raider offense, so it remains to be seen with how that goes. So, but yeah, maybe they get their money, maybe they don't. We will see. Um, but going back to what Anthony Price was just saying, it's formidable. I mean, I don't think it necessarily means that the Browns are doing that because Watson is going to get suspended or how long he's going to get suspended. I think it's inevitable. Yes, he is going to get suspended. There's nothing around that, in my opinion. But I think additionally, what's also going on is that he's going to be what one thing that I did see as it's like it comes back around. He said if he gets suspended, they're suing. He
Mm.
said they're going to sue the NFL. He said he's going to sue Deshaun Watson. They're going to say he's going to sue Roger Goodell and the NFL uh, for I
Oh,
don't know if it was a year or if it's anything, but he said he's suing. So that's one thing. of course. In that, and then the other thing is that I think he's going to get some type of. I think he's going to get some type of suspension anyway.
Mm,
So it makes sense to bring in a quarterback, another quarterback,
mm,
especially if we don't know what Jacoby Brissett. It's not saying that you rely on Jacoby Brissett or Dobbs, but why do that when just Baker isn't there any longer to be a backup or be a safety net if everything went wrong. So it makes sense to bring in somebody else. And just in the nick of time, guess who is available as he has been giving the go ahead to seek a trade? None other than
again,
two
Garoppolo.
time Jimmy Garoppolo.
Yeah, I saw that Jimmy
He has
G.
been he has been cleared for workouts. So
Mhm.
now and yesterday the 49ers okayed him for him and his agent to go to find a
See,
trade.
mhm.
So Jimmy G might be available. You
And
might
that
see
might
him
be
as a
why
backup.
that might be why Cleveland is doing what they doing. They may look at it was talks before that because they didn't know the status of Jimmy yet. It might
Hmm.
be why Cleveland may be one of the first stops for Jimmy G.
Hmm.
I would I wouldn't be surprised. Through the NFL,
A
he needs to be
year. Nah, he'll need to sue the Texans.
yeah, that's over and done with. Yeah, he can't do nothing about that. I don't know why he would sue the NFL. In my
Yeah.
personal opinion,
It's all the point. Like we just say, law is funny. Is a funny thing.
yeah, I don't get it, but either way, it is what it is. I don't see
What do you think about this?
if Tampa Bay goes deep into the playoffs and need really help, Gronk will pull a Eric Water with the Rams deep in the playoffs. And
Basically saying that Grunk would come back, like Eric Waddle
no,
came back to play with the Rams.
no, with the Rams, no.
Yeah,
Gronk,
he's done. He's saying he's done. Like he's
he's
for real. Like
he's
I'm done.
yeah, I don't yeah, Jimmy G should be traded to Pittsburgh or Seattle.
Not
He could go to
Seattle.
he could go to Seattle. He could
No,
go to
no, no,
Seattle.
no, 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 no.
Yeah, you don't want him in Seattle, but he could probably go to Seattle. He could definitely go to Seattle.
He
He
doesn't
could
need to
go to
be in
Seattle. He
Seattle.
could go to Atlanta. He could probably go to Atlanta. Jimmy G could probably
He can
head
go.
out.
He can go. He should go to Cleveland.
He could go to Pittsburgh. But
Actually, in all actuality, he should stay in San
and
Francisco. But
I was waiting for that. I knew that was
yeah,
coming.
he
I
should stay in
was
San
waiting for that.
Francisco. But in the case I understand the business and stuff like that, he should go to Seattle. He should go to Cleveland. Go to Cleveland.
Mm.
Debunk what has been said about Cleveland being where quarterbacks go to die. Like, go ahead, just go to Cleveland and turn that all around, Jimmy.
See, this is the thing, right? The thing about that is, I feel like him going to Cleveland is, yeah, it is detrimental to Jimmy G because I feel like if he was to go to Cleveland, what happens when Deshaun comes back?
That he just needs all he needs to do is go there and be there for a year. That's it. Goes there before a year. Everyone knows at this point because if he goes and he goes to so he can go play like so he can stay active and playing. If he
Mhm.
goes to Cleveland for a year, it's possible. It's almost formidable that he's going to be the starter, especially if Deshaun Watson is not going to be able to play. So if he goes, he dons the brown and orange for a year,
Mhm.
then everyone knows he's on a 1 year contract. So teams looking for a stopgap quarterback or a quarterback that's probably going to be able to take him to the next level. Now they take a look at like, okay, Jimmy G is a free agent next year.
Mhm.
We can make a play for him possibly. And so that's why I say to go there for a year because we all know Deshaun is their he's a franchise quarterback now.
They
Again, he's
paid
a franchise
him.
quarterback.
Yeah, they paid him. They got
Yeah,
him. They
so
got
yeah, so it's inevitable that he's going to come back and play. So all they need is Jimmy to float the boat and possibly maybe win a championship. Now it comes a little suspect and testy if, like you said, if Jimmy does take them to let's say even a AFC championship or even into or even into the Super Bowl in a losing effort. Do you get rid of your Super Bowl winning AFC championship, AFC championship winning, or or Super Bowl, the quarterback that got your team to the Super Bowl in 1 year, do you get rid of him, or do you think, oh, okay, let's keep him around, let's see what we can do with him, or do you use him for leverage and think, okay, and that's how you pitch him, like, all right, we're gonna go ahead when he's actually not even um, signed to you anymore. So I think it could be a win-win for him to go to Cleveland, play on a 1 year deal, see if he can make things happen, and then go on
Mhm.
about his business.
Mhm.
Losing to his former team, the San Francisco 49ers, in Super Bowl. I think that's a great story.
Of course, you would say that. Of course, you would say. Yeah, Jimmy. Let's hope everything works out for Jimmy and he finds a team to play with. But we'll see. I wouldn't be surprised if he was to stay in San Francisco, because we don't, the Trey Lance is the scouts is still out on Trey Lance right now. So if it was me personally, and I was over in San Francisco, I would bring Jimmy G in during the offseason and just have a QB battle between him and Trey, and that would determine whether or not I'm really gonna ship Jimmy G off.
I think that would be a little unfair because he knows the system, but I think now the system is probably being built around
Yeah.
Trey
Trey
Lance.
should know the system. Trey should know the system too by now. He's been there a whole year. He should know the system. He shouldn't. He ain't had nothing but time to learn the system. He didn't get that much playing time. What he played in maybe 3 games. He should know the system like the back of his hand. He had a whole year to sit out and learn that system. There's no reason why Trey should
I think the system is going to be built around him now. So
around Trey.
I
What
think,
don't I mean? Don't get me wrong. That
yeah,
makes
I
sense.
think
I mean, he's the
it's built
future.
around him now.
He's probably supposed to be the future of the team. Don't get me wrong. But if it's me, just to put some heat on Trey's heels,
Do
I
you
bring.
build your system around your quarterback, or do you build the system that your quarterback can operate in, and it's your system?
It,
Which one
it,
will you go
it,
with?
it depends on what your quarterback's strong points are. So if it fits your philosophy for you to build your team around his strong points, then yeah. But if it doesn't fit your philosophy of that, then you build your team around what your
Yeah.
philosophy is.
Hmm.
If that's not his strong points fit your philosophy, then no. But if it does fit your philosophy, then yeah, you build your team around the player. My personal opinion. Speaking of quarterbacks, this came out just a few days ago, and I've been waiting to share. Lego, Lego, the Madden quarterbacks. We're talking about the Madden, EA Sports Madden NFL 2023 QB rating for quarterbacks. Mad shouts out to, or not mad shouts out, but may rest in peace to John Madden. Definitely a who who passed away earlier this year or last year, was it?
Hmm.
And now, you know what I'm saying? The game still goes on. His name still moves on. But here we have Patrick Mahomes at a 99 overall, Aaron
That's going to
Rodgers at
drop.
Aaron Rodgers at number 2 at a 98 overall, Tom
That's
the
going to
Goat
drop.
Brady at a 98 overall,
That's going to
Josh
drop.
Allen at number 4 at a 95 overall,
He might go
Lamar
up.
Lamar Jackson at 92
He's going
um
up.
overall, Justin Herbert at number 6 at a
He's going up.
90, Russell Wilson at a number 7 at a 90,
I don't know about that.
Dak Prescott at 8 at an 89,
Hmm.
Joe Burrow at 9 at 89, Matthew Stafford, Super Bowl champion, he's number 10 at an 87 overall.
Oh, that's going to go
Kyler
up.
Murray, 86 at number
That's
11.
dropping.
Deshaun, who didn't play, Watson at number 12 at an 86 overall.
I'm
Derek
going to stay the
Carr at
same.
13. Derek Carr
That
at
might go up.
13 at 85. Ryan Tannehill,
Oh, I don't know about Brian.
84 at 14. And rounding off the top 15 is your boy, that former boomer Sooner, Jalen Hurts at 15 and an 82 overall. What are
Hmm.
your thoughts? What do y'all think, man? What is y'all thoughts in regards to seeing Madden's ratings of the top 15 quarterbacks? That leaves what 16, 17 quarterbacks out there that have lower ratings than 82.
Well, like I
I
said,
heard you.
as
I
you
heard
was
you
reading
a lot of
about, saying
yeah.
Mahomes and Rogers and Brady, I see dropping. Not
Mm,
like, yeah, I see they're dropping over the course. It's probably going to drop. I don't know what
late
it'll
90s.
take to drop, but they're saying the 90s. I don't think they're going to go out like probably. I'm just saying maybe one or two
Low 95.
point. Yeah, yeah. Well, no. I think they'll stay above 95. I don't think they
Okay.
go past 95. But I
Okay.
think in any case, Josh Allen and Lamar might move up in their rankings,
Okay.
and the same as Herbert. I don't know about Dak and Russell. I foresee Joe gets into the 90s.
Okay.
Stafford gets into the 90s.
Okay.
Deshaun, I don't think he's going to even. I mean, he's just going to be on the game. He's not going to. I don't think he's going to
He's gonna
move.
be stagnant.
Yeah, he's going to be there. Ryan, I don't know about Ryan. Ryan Carr might move up.
You know who I think
Jalen might move up.
he gonna move up. Jalen gonna definitely move up too. I think he definitely gonna move up. But you know who I think is gonna move up and be in this top 15?
Who's that? You think
Sunshine.
so?
Yeah.
That's
Watch.
interesting.
I think Sunshine's gonna move up, bro. Just like your boy Trey, he's had a whole year to learn that system. Well, he's got a new coach this year too, though. But I still feel like he's going to. I do. I feel like Sunshine is going to. He's going to get into the top 15, bro. Guess who? You see who's not on here though? Your boy
Which one?
Tua.
That's just a
Tua.
formality right now.
Yeah, it's a form. I don't know. So does he break the top 15? Does Tua make
Uh,
the top 15? He all he needs is an 83 to get into the top 15 with Jalen Hurts at an 82. So does Tua get to an 83 or above to break into the top 15?
does
Because he's
Tua
not
get?
in. Yeah, he's not in there. He's not in there. So he's in the
Mm,
70s somewhere. That means Tua's well, he could be an 81 or 80, 79. Or he could be an 82 tied with Jalen Hurts. But I feel like if he was at 82, they probably would have put him up there too. Does Tua
we
make it in
definitely
the top
see.
50? Like I said, I do think I really feel like um I really feel like Sunshine is gonna make it in the top 15. I do. I really have a strong feeling about that dude, man. I do.
I'm here for it. I'm looking to see. Uh, so as we were saying earlier, Bishop is our as I say earlier, he's our fashion guru in a sense, SME over there. So I ask you these questions, Bishop. What do you think about some of the new uniform switches as we go through
Hot.
this list? You feeling the
Ooh,
battle red for the Texans?
that's hot. I ain't gonna lie, that's hot as hell. I like that. That's hot.
Okay. So
That's
that's
hot.
their new. What about the Saints and their new
It look like it looks like the
So
Steelers.
you know what?
It
I
look like
think
the
this.
Steelers.
I think the hottest uniform that was out there, especially during the color rush, was the Saints' white and gold and black.
That white and white,
That
yeah,
color.
that
Oh my
all
goodness,
white.
that is so
Yeah,
fire. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, that
So
all white.
this is I guess now
Oh,
the helmet.
they got the Saint thing. I didn't see it at first. It's got the Saints on like the mohawk.
Yeah,
The
yeah, on
little
the crown. Yeah.
yeah.
So that's it. What about going back to y'all's?
I, I don't like it.
No, like
I
it.
don't I don't like it.
So
I
let's
don't
go back.
the
What
Kelly.
A B C D F? What you giving it?
Oh, that's an A all day. A
That's
plus.
A plus, A plus.
Mm-hmm. That's a now that I see the mohawk thing, I'll give it a B.
A B.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, okay.
I give it definitely a D. I do not like that. Definitely a D. It's a D. Ain't that the throwback right there?
That's their
That's
throwback. Going back to it, just like y'all throwback. That's their
C.
throwback.
Yeah,
Let's see
C. Mm-hmm. Nothing.
Panthers new helmet.
I can barely see it. Look like is it flat black? Is that flat black?
Yeah, matte black with the
Black or
Panthers.
whatever.
So,
Yeah,
mm-hmm.
Car That flat black probably looked pretty hot. I give it a B minus.
A B mamas.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. As Stanton says, Carolina's is bomb.
Nah, it's all right. It ain't all that, bro. It's all right. That right there is
The
fire.
bank, the Bengals
That
in all white.
that all white Bengals is fire. That's an A. I get that an A all day. That
Okay, and
white.
the
We talked about that a minute ago. Hell no. If y'all don't go get away from that 1970s New England Patriots, no, bro. That's a D.
so two D's.
D. Yeah, that's a D. That New England Patriots. Man, if y'all don't go somewhere with that, that's deep material all day. Yeah. Philly and New England failed. They failed. They need to go back to the drawing board.
Going back to their old styles. Like yeah,
Yeah.
let's take
Nah,
it
leave that
back,
alone.
way back,
It's a reason
back in
why y'all
time.
went. There's a reason why it was left as why it's a throwback. Leave it at throw that back.
A throwaway,
Throw
throwaway.
that back. Throw that back. Yeah.
So interesting enough, there's an overwhelming demand for the tickets in Germany, Bishop, as the Panthers will play against the Seattle Seahawks in Germany this year. They're like they basically have already sold out just about. Filled the
I can believe
stadium,
it. I can believe.
770,000 people.
I can believe it. I can believe it. Football has been huge in Europe, to be honest with you. A lot of people
Mm-hmm.
think I mean, a lot of people. Well, don't get me wrong. Soccer is still probably the main sport over there,
Mm-hmm.
which they call football. But yeah. But however, football. A lot of Europeans love football. American football. American football. Let's put it like that. A lot of Europeans love American football. So I'm not. That's not surprising to me at all, whatsoever.
Mm.
Not
That's
surprising.
a, so that's where you'd be going if you had if you were over there, you'd be trying to get to that game.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Without a shadow of a doubt. Yeah. Oh, if I was, yeah. We got a frat brother over there. I wonder is he trying to make any of the games over there? He just got there yesterday, or day was it yesterday, day
Oh yes,
before.
Cipher.
Cypher, yeah, he just got there. So yeah. So I don't. Yeah. If I was over there, hell yeah, I would be trying to make one of them games without question. Without question, bro. I'd be trying to make one of them games. Sure would. Sure would.
Mm.
Sure would. And especially if it was my team.
Yeah, well, yeah, I guess because I was just looking the other day. I was like, you know what, I'm gonna try to hit this. Even though it's a preseason game, the 49ers are playing against the Houston Texans. I was like, I'm gonna try
Oh
to hit that game. Is
yeah,
on the
the
29th of August,
The Eagles
26th. Sorry,
Eagles, same thing. Oh, it's a preseason game. See, the Eagles got
yours is
the
a regular season game.
game here in Houston, in the Texas. I'm gonna try to make that one too. Yeah, I'm
Hmm.
gonna try to make
So
that one too.
so it's like that. I was like, I'm gonna try to make that game. And do you know, I went and look the other day, and like there's only nosebleed.
Left.
Yeah, I was like,
Y'all
it's about a
got a huge fan.
damn Texas fans.
Yeah, y'all got a huge fan
But you
base.
know, there's a what's called there, so I might sit up and still try to go anyway, even get that because I know there's a extension of the 49ers fan fan base there uh, um, that I'm a part of, or I'll be checking and checking with. So I might
Okay.
just go and pull up anyway. I know there's a couple of things that's going on. A good friend of mine sent me some stuff that where she be following and told me, let me know like, hey, they got a couple of things going on in Beaumont 49ers. So I was like, I might have to pull up to one of the events. Um, I missed one of the events to go because I was in. We had something going on, but I had missed it. So because I missed the 49ers playing in Cleveland, not Cleveland, playing in New Orleans.
Mm,
Was that was a game where they played against when Kerry Kittle, not Kerry Kittle's, where George Kittle caught that ball on a 4th and 2 and ran for that first down, and they pulled a face mask and he got further. And basically the
mm,
one where New Orleans was pounding out the 49ers, and they
mm.
came back and won in overtime or something like that.
Oh, okay.
That game, I remember that game.
Oh,
So
okay.
that was the last one I missed. So I don't know. I might see a work case like that. Get a couple of
Mm,
bets going on here and there. I know a lot of Saints fans.
that part. Mm-mm.
But yeah, so I will probably try to catch one or two, a couple of word case like that to get it. So I had a thought the other day, Bishop, and maybe
Uh-huh.
you could help me with it. Who would you say, if you had a top three, who are your top three overrated players in the NFL right now? Well, when you hear stuff, you be like, that dude is overrated. Why are we even talking about him? What three players is that? for you?
Overrated in the NFL.
Overrated in the NFL, any position.
For me, would probably be Dak Prescott.
I know you're gonna say that. I think I know another one you're finna say.
Dak is probably one. Uh, uh, Overrated. Dak probably is one. Um, hmm. I'm sitting here. I'm just trying to think who they be hyping up, and then he's not all that. I'm really sitting here trying to think. I would say Zeke, but Zeke did. I don't think he's kind of like fell off. I don't think he's that. They ain't overhyping him no
Yeah,
more.
it's not. Yeah,
Yeah,
they're
I don't think.
wide on that front now.
Yeah, he's pretty much on. Yeah, they got him on the back burner. So yeah, I think it is Dak. Um, I'm gonna have to think about that because I don't know who the other two could be.
So for me, I would say I initially was gonna say Dak, but I don't think it's Dak. I think Amari Cooper is one.
That's a good one too. Yeah, I don't think he all that. Yep, that's a good one. Amari Cooper, definitely. Yeah.
I
Hmm.
almost wanted to say I almost want to say Patrick Mahomes,
Nah,
but I won't say Pat. I would say Derek Carr. I'm still wondering what all the type talk
nah,
is about Derek Carr.
nah, not for me. I wouldn't say Derek Carr. I'm trying to think who my third would be, man.
I'm
To
surprised
be
you didn't say Tua. I thought Tua was gonna
I
just
was
jump right
gonna
off
say
your tongue.
no. I was the tour was there. He was there. He was there on the team, but I couldn't spit him out because I don't feel like they overhyping him like that. I don't think he's definitely out all that. I don't think they overhyping him like that. They on the verge. They're on the verge. They're on the verge, and he finna definitely prove him. But um,
But someone I
you know
think
what
they're
I'm gonna go out on a limb. You know what I'm gonna say, and it's probably gonna shock you. In person, I think they hyping up, and I think he's not all that. Don't get me wrong. This person is good. This player is good, but I don't think he's all that. Tyreek Hill.
Hmm. I can say that. I think Tyreek and
His speed is just all is
yeah,
what.
I think Tyreek and Mahomes kind of like hand in hand. Like
Mhm,
their skill sets help one another become.
mhm. Who they are.
Yeah, so insight is I think so. I can I don't I'm not I can see that he wouldn't be my choice, but I can see how that is. But someone I was gonna say specifically for this year, I think is going to be overrated. And which it's no. Actually, I have two that I think is going to be overrated for this year, and in which everyone is high on, huh?
Tom Brady and who?
Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers and
Aaron
Aaron
Rodgers.
Rodgers.
Yeah, I knew Tom Brady was one of them.
Yeah.
I knew Tom
Yeah,
Brady was one
Tom
of
Brady, Aaron Rodgers. I think they're going to be. I think they might be a little overrated right now. Um, but of course, especially for Aaron Rodgers, if he goes out and like balls out, or what I'm saying, he ain't even got a ball out, like just to keep Green Bay in the
them.
conversation with what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying, like I mean, because in state is if we get caught up when we kind of get the shade pulled over our eyes because we look at it and because they're not these players, some of these players aren't household names, but in state is they're a professional NFL player. They're on a
Mm-hmm.
professional team. Regardless of what it is, they were enough to make the roster start. So that's the insight is. So yes, Aaron Lazard isn't a Tyreek Hill, but
Mm-hmm.
we know who he is.
Right. Right.
Gabriel isn't a Stefan Diggs, but we know who he is. So what I'm saying. So all these players that are out there in state is they're professionals. It's just we don't know what that looks like for them, and that's why I say for Aaron Rodgers, and we have known Aaron Rodgers has made players relevant, but I
Mm-hmm.
don't know if he can do it now. I don't know if he's going to be able to do it now.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's fair. That's fair. That's definitely fair.
It might not.
Let
Green Bay might
me
not
ask
even
you
make
this.
it out their conference.
Okay, so let me
I mean
ask you this
division.
then.
Hmm.
Let me ask you this then.
Yes.
Who are the three most underrated
Ooh,
players in the
underrated.
NFL?
That's a good
Underrated.
one. I see. I see what you did there.
Yeah.
Um,
Rated.
underrated. Underrated. Ooh. So underrated. You know what? Interestingly enough, first
Mm-hmm.
one comes to mind.
Mm-hmm.
Pollard from Dallas Cowboys.
Mm. I can feel that.
Pollard for the Dallas Cowboys.
I can Chris
Underrated.
Pollard. I can feel that. I can
Uh,
feel that.
who else underrated? Underrated. Underrated. Interesting enough, Tua Tagovailoa might be underrated.
I knew you was gonna put his name in your
He
mouth.
might he might be underrated.
I knew he was coming out your mouth. I
And
knew it.
even with all, and then I'll go. This one, my last one will be like a two part, A and B. Who I
Mm-hmm.
think even with all, for one, with all the hype, and then additionally the other one underrated is days ago, a year or so ago, it might have been Cooper Cup, but of course we that's not the case anymore.
Right. Right.
Um, I would say Daniel Jones
Ooh.
and or even still now Josh Allen. I think it's underrated. They
Ooh.
still
You think he's underrated?
underrated. Yeah, I think he's underrated.
Mm.
I think I would have even said at one point I would have said Justin Herbert, but I think he's the people see and recognize Justin Herbert, so he's not underrated anymore. Um, Hunter Renfro, I think it might be underrated, but definitely Daniels. I think Daniels, and which is Daniels can show and prove now. Hey, I can play. You know, what I'm saying we can start talking about me. And then Josh Allen, I think he lives in the shadows of the ones of which we was just talking about the Rodgers, Brady, Mahomes. At this point, is his nemesis. Burrow, a nemesis. They all stand. So yeah, I think those. Who are your underrated?
My underrated is one I think is like I just spoke about him a minute ago, and I think he's gonna have a breakout season. I think it's gonna be Sunshine. I think Sunshine is very underrated. I think because of that one season he had under um Urban Meyer, a lot of people have forgot how good Sunshine really is, and I think he's going to show out this season. Like I've said numerous times, Sunshine is coming. I really believe he's the one of the underrated guys in the league. My next underrated player would probably be. I like Pollard too because I do feel like Pollard is underrated because he's kind of a lot of people overlook Pollard because of Zeke, but Pollard put him
Chuba
on the
Hubbard too. Matter of fact, when you think
oh,
about that in
oh,
Carolina.
yeah. Um, a lot of people overlook Pollard because of Ezekiel, but Pollard put himself on the map last year by outdoing Zeke.
Mm-hmm.
Another person who I feel is underrated, and you probably gonna raise your eyebrow to this, and a lot of and then you probably gonna give me some flack because of who I'm about to pick. Joe Mixon. I feel like Joe Mixon is underrated. I think people sleep on Joe Mixon out there in Cincinnati with Joe Burrow. I really feel like that. I feel like people don't give Joe his just due, man. I don't feel like people don't give Joe Mixon his just due. I feel
I,
like he's underrated.
I think Joe is where he needs to be right now. Like in between the two. Like he's not overrated, but he's not underrated either. He's just in between there. I would think that Dalvin Cook is a little more underrated than Joe Mixon is. And
No,
Dalvin and both of them are monsters in my opinion.
but see, this is the thing. But the thing of the difference between the two for me and Dalvin Cook and Joe Mixon, Dalvin Cook at one time was
Yes.
highly rated, and then he all of a sudden then he fell off. He
Injuries.
fell off. Yes. So that's why I feel like he's not necessarily underrated. I feel like he's just at a point there where he's got to get himself back to a point to where he was before he had those injuries. So I feel like people still know Dalvin Cook is that dude if he can get back to where he was prior to the injuries. So I don't feel like he's underrated. I just think people waiting for him to come back to his prime to get to where he was. But I just feel like people just don't give Joe Mixon enough credit for what he's capable of doing out there in Cincinnati. So definitely Joe Mixon, and then one player who's not underrated, Trey Lance, because it wasn't me this time, Trey. I'm just saying, man. It wasn't me. I didn't say anything, man. I didn't say anything. But I like I say, Chris Pollard, uh, Sunshine, Uh, and definitely Joe Mixon for me is one of the top three underrated players in my
Do you
opinion.
do you think Justin Fields is underrated, or is it still just like the same thing with Trey
Ooh,
Lance? We don't know yet.
question. Good question. Well, I think he's underrated. He's right there in the same category as Sunshine, because they both pretty much had the same type of season. And they had such high expectations of both of them quarterbacks coming out in the draft. Um, I guess you would have to say so, yeah. If I have to put Sunshine there, I would definitely have to. I guess I would have to put Justin Fields there too, because yeah, yeah. Because I feel like Justin Fields has the talent. I just feel like the team in which he's on right now is just not the team for him to prove his ability. So yeah, I could see Justin Fields being considered underrated right now. Yeah, yeah, I can see that.
Mm.
I can see that. Yeah, I could see that. That's crazy.
So you think that he's going to have it? So
I don't
I,
think
I
I don't think he's gonna have a season like Sunshine's gonna have this year. But
okay.
I think he'll bounce back a bit. I think from how he played and how things transpired through of his first season in Chicago, I think he's gonna figure some things out and he'll have a better season this upcoming season than he had last season. But I don't think he's gonna outdo Sunshine. I really feel like the Jaguars are about to show something with Sunshine, man.
So I was looking over something which I've been looking at it for a couple of years, a couple of days now, a couple of weeks, honestly. In
Mm-hmm.
which, what if there was like a club, an elite club in the NFL, and then we would call it the Superstar Club, but
Mm-hmm.
it was only limited seats in which you can have players in. So I'm gonna give you, we're gonna go over a couple of the positions, and then I want to give you the members of it, and then I will give you people who are coming in. But of course, if some are coming in, you have to pull the others out. And I'd just like to know your take on it. So the first being in the club being members Josh Allen for the quarterbacks, Josh Allen, Tom Brady, Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes, Dak Prescott, Aaron Rodgers, and Russell Wilson. Oh, also, so those are the members. Two members that are up to be moved out.
To
Matt
be moved.
Ryan to be pulled out. I didn't say them because they're on the cusp of being moved out. Matt Ryan and Kyler Murray out, replaced by Joe Burrow and Justin Herbert.
So what's your question?
Do you agree with that, or do you think upon
So
current members, someone else should be?
other two. Those two replace the other
Yeah.
two.
So to bring in what
No,
of all
so
those quarterbacks, I think
Russell
those would
gotta
be
come out. No, Russell Wilson got to come out.
Russ and who to keep
Huh?
who in. Russ
To
got to
keep
come out to keep who in,
to keep
huh?
Kyler in. To keep Kyler in.
Keep Kyler in and replace Russ with Herbert.
Keep Kyler in. Place Herbert with Russell. Yep.
Wow.
Yep. Absolutely, bro. I'm looking at the top quarterbacks right now. Russell's number 8. Herbert is well above him. I think
Yeah,
what
but what about
or
Kyler? Where's Kyler at? Or
Kyler's in.
Dak? So you
Yeah, any one of them. Got to keep young Kyler. Thank you, Coach Africa. You got to keep young Kyler. Really? Russell? He's on the back end, bro.
but he's still a superstar. That's like LeBron's on the back end. He's still a superstar.
He is. Is he a superstar? Is Russell really a
You know,
superstar still? No, I'm saying, is he still a
oh,
superstar?
Russell
Yeah. Is he really a
is
superstar still?
Kyler, but is Kyler a superstar?
He's young. He's future superstar. Yes. He's
He
young.
should. I don't even see why we're having a conversation on Kyler being up for being removed. That means he was in. Like, how did Kyler get in to the superstar club?
Because he's
That's
potentially
you know
about.
what. I take back my comment. Kyler's overrated. He's
He's not.
overrated.
There's
He's
no way
overrated.
Kyler's overrated. There's no way Kyler's overrated. How is Kyler overrated? There is no
Kyler's
way
overrated.
Kyler's no. There's
He
no
is
way Kyler's
overrated.
overrated. He is not. There's no way Kyler's overrated, bro.
Running backs. Yeah, Kyler's
Mm-hmm.
overrated. Running backs.
Mm-hmm.
Current members: Nick Chubb, Dalvin Cook, Derrick Henry, Alvin Kamara, Christian McCaffrey.
Okay.
Now, person in question, removing Saquon Barkley, adding Jonathan Taylor. You agree with that? Or is it someone else you would remove?
Jonathan Taylor deserves to be there. I do
True.
say that. I
True.
do agree to that.
Who do you so you don't agree with moving Saquon Barkley to get him in there?
I might have to agree with that. Yeah. At first, I was going to say McCaffrey, but if McCaffrey is healthy,
He's a problem.
he's a problem. If he's healthy and then with no injury, he's a problem. So that's what keeps him in
So
there.
you was just stating
So,
you was
Saquon
just
is,
talking mixing. Who do you to get mixing in there? Who are you moving? Who comes out?
if I was to put Mixon in,
Yeah, to
Mixon,
get mixing in. Mixing
Mixon
don't
is
deserve not yet. He don't
Mixon.
deserve that yet.
No, he's
Okay,
underrated, but he wouldn't make it in yet.
okay. So he's not a superstar. He
But
can't get in the club yet.
Saquon is again, he's one of those two though. If he's healthy,
If he's healthy.
he's a problem. He's a
So
problem.
who would be who wouldn't be in the club if Christian McCaffrey, Saquon, and now John Taylor are all available. There's only one spot left currently. Currently Saquon's in, McCaffrey's in, Jonathan's outside looking in. Who comes out if all of them's healthy to get John? Or does Jonathan Taylor continue to sit next to Mixon and wait?
I like to see that Africa. I'm trading Saquon and fantasy for
I like to be in that. I like to be in
that
that.
one. Let me be in that one. Let me know which one that is.
I'll trade you Tucker. I'll give you Tucker for.
Oh, oh man, that's hard, bro. If they all healthy, man, that's hard. I don't
Nick,
know.
Nick Chubb, Dalvin Cook, Derrick Henry, Alvin Kamara, Christian McCaffrey, all healthy. Jonathan Taylor
You know
on the
what?
outside looking in. Who's gone?
You know what? Because of what's going on, you know, Alvin Kamara.
Alvin Kamara comes out.
Yeah, Alvin Kamara comes out because of what's going on with him. Yeah, he's about to do some time. So
you know what? I just thought about why isn't Matthew Stafford in the superstar club?
The same way Matthew Stafford is number 10 on the Madden ratings. I don't know why they should. That's who's underrated. That's another one who's underrated. Matthew Stafford is another. He's underrated, bro. That dude right there is a guy who's underrated. Matthew Stafford. They don't get that man his just due, man. They do not.
I don't believe in Kyler. That's just what it is. Africa. I don't believe in Kyler. He got to make me a believer. I mean, he don't have to make me a believer, but I mean, me personally, I just don't. I think he's overrated.
He said, Justin Tucker scores more points than Saquon. Yeah,
okay, you're right, Anthony. That was the best receiver I could think of. Kicker I could think of. That's the only person that's probably getting that trade. Like, I trade. I trade Tucker for Dak Prescott.
Yeah, Matthew Stafford is definitely he's the underrated guy. When it's all said and done, you think about it because even you just said, why isn't he in the whole lineup in the first place? And he's not, and he just won a Super Bowl. How do you not have him in there? Yeah.
Okay, wide receivers. We got a little more time. Wide receivers. Members: Devontae Adams, AJ Brown, Tyreek Hill, DeAndre Hopkins, Justin Jefferson, DK Metcalf. But we have some moving around.
There's some people. I know. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm going to talk about right now because they're that means, of course, if you miss them, that means they're on the chopping block, or some people so adding Cooper Kupp, removing Michael Thomas,
Agreed.
adding Jamar Chase, and removing Julio Jones.
Agreed.
Okay, I did make a mistake. Adding, okay, wait, hold up, and then additionally adding or taking having a vote to add Justin Jefferson and Deebo Samuel.
What?
Add Justin.
Justin Jefferson, he's not
Uh,
already in the group. In the
well, yeah. Well, what's his name was in? Justin Jefferson was in. Additionally, also add Debo Samuel. But we leaving people out like Mike Evans, C.D. Lamb,
AJ Brown.
AJ Brown's on. He's already in. He's in
Oh, did
already.
you say AJ Brown?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
AJ. C.D. Lamb, Amari Cooper, T. Higgins, Terry McLaurin, all left out.
Did you say Jamar Chase?
He's in for
Okay.
whatever reason. Devontae is not. The good point, Africa.
Devon gone
Oh,
too.
Devontae's going to. You know what, Africa? Don't you can't say
Y'all are
stuff like that. You can't say
y'all,
stuff like that, Africa, because I know Bishop was going to pick him up. Now you might have him having second thoughts. Like I know
not
Bishop was going to pick him up.
I'm not having second thoughts whatsoever. I don't understand how y'all feel as though these guys. He's going back to his old quarterback, bro. Chase got to come in, take Julio out. I agree. Can't finish the season without injury. Michael Thomas out. I agree with that, and for sure Debo and
South Carolina stand up.
yeah, yeah. I totally definitely Julio definitely comes out. We already know that. Take out AJ. What? You out your mind? Take out AJ Brown, put Scary Terry, take out DK, and put Debo. We talking about Terry McLaurin. Of course he gonna say Terry. Get the hell out of here, Anthony. And how you gonna take out AJ Brown? You silly.
So
Don't
Mike,
on to him.
Mike, Mike Evans,
Okay.
Debo, C.D. Lamb. Don't in that when you talk about adding in Debo
But
and
do you realize that is his old college quarterback? Why would he stop? Why wouldn't he throw to him as much as he threw to as A-Rod would? That's his old college quarterback. Y'all don't understand that tandem, man. That's like saying Steph is not gonna pass the ball to Clay. Really? That's not, bro. Okay, y'all sleep on that tandem if y'all want to.
tight ends is clear cut for tight end members in
Okay,
Travis Kelsey, George Kittle, Darren Waller.
those are the three that's in
That's
the
all. Yeah, that's the only members that they tracking. Members. Those are the only members they got.
Travis Kelsey. Who?
George Kittle and Darren Waller.
Oh, they sleeping on Pitts. Pitts.
They
Ooh.
said it's funny you said that they sleeping on Pitts only because they said Marcus Mariota is throwing him the ball.
Oh, y'all are some dirty individuals, bro. Y'all sleeping on some of these cats, man. I promise you. Kyle Pitts had 1,000 yards receiving last year as a tight end. Man, y'all crazy. And I'm sure Marcus Mariota realizes that. I'm sure he realizes that. Okay.
Africa told you to grab him and see how it works out.
Make sure, Africa, you're in our fantasy football league. Please be sure to join our fantasy football league, our first inaugural, first formation fantasy football league. Make sure you join. That way you don't have to see
He saw you. He see you grab him and watch it and watch how it works.
Bro, don't, bro. I'm not worried about it because I know somebody. He'll probably be the one who pick him up. I ain't even worried about it. You say Devontae, but watch you be the first one to drag. Exactly. I just said the same thing, Anthony. Watch. Somebody, man, get out of here, bro. You ain't gonna tell me that tandem is not gonna sign me up. I play a 14-man league, so I'm tested. Okay, let's go. Trey, tell him let's go. You better,
you know what? You know what? Yesterday, I was about to say yesterday. It made me think about yesterday when I was like, "Hey, yesterday," but it's like, can't find it.
You better show some receipts.
You cannot believe how relieved I was when I finally found that back door to where I had all my trophies at. I was like, man, this is not really good for me right now. But of course, definitely. So that's our show for today, fam. On Thursday, the eve. Tomorrow, we look forward to having at some point Ron Barty, currently named as one of the coaches for the All Army military basketball team. So he'll be on tomorrow. We get a little opportunity to talk with him and everything late in the second half of the show. I think Professor will be on tomorrow. We can talk a little more fantasy. You know what I'm saying?
fantasy picks for you.
Give some more fantasy. Y'all can, like
So
I
make sure
said.
you put on there because you might need him.
So again, like he said, like he gave some dropped some nuggets yesterday, but I just can't. It's some stuff in which I'll be like, it could be a setup. I don't know. I'm very leery of certain things. But yeah, so please be sure to check back with us tomorrow. High speeds 09, the 1100 hours every Monday through Friday. We're here talking it up, chatting up. You never know what you're really going to get. Honestly, a conversation can be carried from anything. That's just one of those things. We just, saying, just bear with it. Listen, you might pick up something, or it might strike something in where you can hit us up and be like, "Hey, have you ever thought about?" We always open to hearing ideas as far as topics and stuff like that to go from there. It's just one of those things when you dictate and do what y'all got to do. So it's definitely Bishop. Any last words as we get up out of here, bro?
Oh man, thank y'all for tuning in to First Formation. We appreciate y'all again. Like I've always said, man. Uh, Great show as always. Catch y'all tomorrow. Turn it up, Bishop. You already know. Um, uh, yeah. We appreciate y'all. First Formation is not First Formation with all of y'all. We thank y'all so much for tuning in. Keep tuning in again. For those who don't know and haven't realized yet, if you have not signed up for the first inaugural First Formation Fantasy Football League, head on over to First Formation on Facebook. Sign up. Let us know that you want to be a part of this great fantasy football season that's about to be upon us here in a few weeks. I think we got about what 4 or 6. I mean, about 6 Sundays left.
You know what?
Before,
It's six. It's 6 Saturdays till college football comes back.
yeah,
So that probably puts about the same six
eight,
six to eight. Yeah.
6 to 8 then for NFL football. Then okay, so yeah, man. So let's get it, man. Let's get on this. Let's have fun. Let's talk trash. When I told y'all earlier in the week, when football season comes, First Formation is going to be a whole new animal. So get on board now. Tell your friends. Y'all be sure to tune in. We bringing all the smoke, man. And good luck to y'all. I appreciate y'all for playing. When it comes time, I'm gonna appreciate y'all for playing, but I'm gonna be the true champion. Until then, man, we'll see y'all tomorrow. Stay tuned and have a great Thursday and enjoy.